Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Berea City Council meeting, Tuesday, January 6, 2026. I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please let the record reflect that a quorum is present. And at this time, I would call on Teresa Centers to lead us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Teresa.
Bow with me if you'd like. Father God, we come before you this evening thanking you for all your blessings and thanking you for your presence this evening as we do the business of the city. We pray that you will guide us with your wisdom and help everything that is said and done here be in your will. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Teresa. The next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda by John Payne and second by Steve Davis? Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the agenda? Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries and the agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our December 16th, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion by Steve Cottle to approve? Is there a second? By Jerry Little. Any discussion, changes, corrections that are needed? Seeing none, I request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is public comment, and we do have a couple of folks that are signed up for public comment. So I'll read this real quickly, then I'll recognize our speakers tonight. The public's given the opportunity to speak to the City Council during the public comment portion of the meeting. Any public comments exceeding 3 minutes should be scheduled as a presentation through the mayor's office. When recognized by the mayor, please go to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Comments should be business-oriented, and we ask for no inappropriate language or naming any person individual during your comments. And business-oriented is defined as any item of business on the agenda, including ordinances, municipal orders, and resolutions, along with comments related to services that are provided by the City of Berea. And our first speaker tonight is Whitney McKnight. Whitney, you have the floor. Welcome.
Is it on? Thank you, Mayor, Council. I just would like to, first of all, thank you for a wonderful series of places to walk my dog. The trails in Berea are always beautiful. I always run into somebody that it's nice to see and talk to, and it's just a real highlight of my day to be able to walk my dog on the trails in Berea. So thank you for that. I also want to mention that they're always really well taken care of, which Priscilla's here. Her team keep the park really great. One of the things I also want to thank you for is at Tilly Dog Park, those waste bags go quick, and y'all replace them very quickly. So there's never really a dearth of bags, and we really do need them. Which brings me to number 3. I would like to please ask the city to consider placing dog stations at Community Park, maybe at the entrance where the new bathroom is going to be built, and then maybe a couple of other places, at least 180 degrees away from where they're going to be at the bathroom, because that might be where you find a little bit more waste, because there isn't really any, unless you're going to root around in the woods for some kind of litter that might do as a, scooper, which I will do sometimes. But that would make the trails even friendlier for your tourism push, but for the people who already like to use the trails. And really, as far as the city is concerned, that's all I would like to ask. But I would also like to encourage my neighbors to please pick up after their dogs, because it's just really obnoxious when you don't. So be considerate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Whitney. The next person we have for speakers tonight is Miss Judy Baugh. Miss Judy, if you'll come on up, and you can take that one right there if you like, and Ronnie will help you get the button on. There we go. You have the floor, ma'am. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. Judy Ball, 325, I don't even know my address. Wildwood Way, that's in the Stony Creek subdivision. That's why I'm here tonight. I was here about a year ago and had voiced some concern about that second exit. And so, at that time, they had said you would wait and approve houses, in consideration to that second exit. But, the building is still continuing, which is good. I'm not against that. But, I just would like some information on where we stand on our second exit.
Okay. Miss Judy, if you will get your phone number and best time to reach you to either Sean or Robin after the meeting, we'll make sure and get our codes and planning team to get in touch with you on that.
Okay,
Okay?
I appreciate it.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. All righty. That concludes our public comments for this evening. And the next item on the agenda is RFH PLLC Fiscal Year 2025 Audit Presentation. And I'll recognize our Finance Director, Susan Helton, who will introduce our auditor. Susan?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Tonight I'm going to introduce Ashton Powers. She's with RFH PLLC. They're our auditors of record. They've done our audit for the last couple of years, have a great working relationship with them. We do value them and the resources that they provide us. So with that, I will turn it over to Ashton.
Thank you all for having me this evening. As Susan mentioned, my name's Ashton Powers. I'm here with RFH. And this evening, I'll be presenting the results of the fiscal year 2025 audit. And the audit report itself is contained in the Greenbound report, hopefully you each received prior to this meeting. And this evening, I'll just hit the highlights or main points of the audit report. So I will begin on page 1. This is the independent auditor's report itself. And in the second paragraph of this letter, we state, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. So in an audit, we call this a clean or unmodified opinion. In auditing terms, it's the best outcome you could receive, so it's what you would be seeking during the audit process. And the entire independent auditor's report is found on pages 1 through 3 of this bound report. Now, majority of the Greenbound report is you all's financial statements, notes, and then supplementary information. The financial statements themselves and those notes are the information and data of the cities. We just help compile it and format it in this report for auditing and accounting standards. So I will just point out some main financial statements contained in this report. Starting on page 18, you'll have what we call the government-wide financial statements. This is the statement of net position and statement of activities. This shows your combined view of all city activity for your governmental and business type activities. So I'll just point out that the total assets for, again, total government activities is that $149,644,000. Your total liabilities found further down that statement is the $41,032,000. And that brings you to your total net position. You can think of this as assets minus liabilities. What's left over is $110,436,000. And then the next statement on page 19 helps you see how you got to that increase in fund balance. This is the statement of activities. In a for-profit business, you would think of it as your income statement. So the first column there, expenses, shows your total primary government expenses of $35,978,000. And then on the far right column, you'll see towards the bottom, your total general revenues were $21,079,000. That brings you down to a total change in net position, or what you may think of as net income in a for-profit business, of $13,978,000. And then the following pages break down your governmental funds and your proprietary funds. And this gives some more information on, again, major funds for you all, your general ARPA and tourism fund, and then some smaller funds. That is on pages 21 through 23. And then 24 would be your proprietary funds. For you all, that is just your utility operations. And then again, following those financial statements are notes to the financial statements. They'll give you more detail, on the line items presented in the financial statements themselves. From here, I would like to flip towards the back of the report to page 79. This is our next letter to you all. This is called the Independent Auditor's Report on Internal Control over Financial Reporting and on Compliance. So the first subheading there shows it's the report on internal control, and we say in the last paragraph of that subheading, during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. So again, this would be your ideal outcome during the audit process. There were no material weaknesses identified. And then the paragraph prior to that one gives a little more detail on what we would consider to be a material weakness. And then the final paragraph on this report or this letter is your report on compliance. And in that paragraph, we state the results of our tests disclose no instances of noncompliance or other matters required to be reported under government auditing standards. So again, this is an ideal outcome. No instances of noncompliance were noted. The final letter I will draw your attention to begins on page 81. That's our independent auditor's report on compliance for each major program under uniform guidance. So this letter itself looks directly at the single audit. A single audit is required when any entity spends over $750,000 of federal money. And we state in the second paragraph of this letter, in our opinion, City of Berea, Kentucky complied in all material respects with the compliance requirements referred to above that could have a direct and material effect on each of its major federal programs. So again, when testing the federal funds spent by the city in those major programs, there were no instances of noncompliance, and that's a clean opinion on the single audit specifically. Those were the key or highlight areas in the audit report I wanted to bring up, but I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from the council for our auditors? Questions from the council? Seeing none, I will report that we did have a work session on this prior to the council's business meeting. So again, thank you for your presentation and for sticking with us. Susan, do you want to provide any additional information? Okay. And I know that our Audit and Finance Committee, typically we do a motion to accept.
I would like to make a motion to accept the audit for June 30th, 2025.
So there's a motion to accept. Is there a second by John Paint? Is there any discussion on the motion?
No discussion other than that I would like in the future for us to have, for the committee to actually meet before we bring that motion.
Duly noted, and we'll get with Steve to try to work that out for the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Any further discussion?
This isn't, I always try to make this statement because in the entire time I've been around the city, we've always had clean opinions on our audit, and that's a testament to the hard work, and we often take for granted how smoothly this goes every year. And so I would just like to thank all of our staff, from Susan and her entire operation. They make this very easy, and this is not always the case everywhere. So thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Yeah, if I could echo that as well, I appreciate everything they do. Work well with them in my business with Susan and the city, and I know the work that goes into these audits, and it's tremendous to when you come back and see this kind of report. And the time that goes into it is significant, but also the fact that they work together and we don't see any problems between our city accounting and the audit firm is tremendous. So, because I see that in a lot of other practices. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for the insight, Steve. Any further discussion on the motion? Motion on the floor is to accept the audit. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries and the audit's accepted. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And Susan, thanks to you and your team as well. All right. That brings us to our the next item on the agenda, and that is street acceptance for Stony Creek, Unit 3, Phase 1C. And I'll recognize our Codes and Planning Administrator, Amanda Haney.
Hello, good evening. Codes and Planning and Public Works have inspected Stony Creek Unit 3, Phase 1C So this is a kind of a short section of the overall development. It's just a little small cul-de-sac at Brook Cove and a short section of Middle Creek Way. So the total asset to the city would be 860 linear feet of street right-of-way, to include sidewalks, curbs, and gutters. And we have found that that work is complete. The asset to the city would be in the amount of $344,000. And this evening, we are requesting that the council would accept that into city maintenance, with the exception of the detention pond. So in the memo that's called out, detention pond as called out on the plat P6 will be maintained through a recorded stormwater maintenance agreement with the owner, Stony Creek Holdings.
All right, so just to make sure I understand, Amanda, we need a motion to accept 860 linear feet of street right-of-way with a value of $344,000 into city maintenance with the exception of the detention pond. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there a motion by Ronnie Terrell? We'll get to the discussion after the motion. Steve, motion, is there a second? Second by Steve Davis. Discussion, Ronnie.
Where is the lady that needs another way out of Stony Creek? Is that close to this street that we're at?
She is. Her home is in, this is the third phase. I think your home's in the first phase of the three-phase development.
Well,
Is that what you're asking?
well,
Is
what I'm
this
asking,
close?
here's the thing. I don't think we ought to vote on this if she needs a way out. Get
So-
the second way out of Stony.
Yeah, so this is a section where houses are already constructed. The section where the proposed connection, our other way out, is currently approved as an emergency exit only, and it would connect to Crestview Drive. So that's currently it's working its way through approvals with state and federal permits. And so there has been a delay with making that connection. This is not part of that. This is part of currently built,
I understand what you're saying, but
okay?
I'm thinking that if we table this and wait till we get the other way out, might make it faster about getting a way out.
I don't know that this has anything to do, though, with any additional houses or any, I mean, this is really just saying that we're going to maintain said street and push the snow on said street. And so I think we would actually be punishing citizens who are expecting this to happen to try to get something that they also want. But, for instance, I don't know that this hurt. I hear what you're saying, and that it would cause a need to speed up that process. But the only thing I think would happen is that it would hold hostage people who expect this to be happening, who have bought their houses and expect the timeline to be.
And I will also add that I very much anticipate that in the month of January, with our planning commission meetings, we will be in discussion about Stony Creek. I certainly encourage you as a property owner and any other citizens or property owners to come out to planning commission meetings. They are a week from, the first one will be a week from today. So they are the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month at 6 o'clock. We don't always talk about Stony Creek. We may or may not talk about Stony Creek. We haven't set that agenda. We won't until the end of this week. But I do anticipate it to be on an agenda soon, and certainly encourage citizens and council, if you will, to participate in those discussions.
Well, I really would like to help the lady on getting their other exit.
We do
So-
too.
Well,
We all do.
I understand,
Yeah.
is the only reason I'm saying if we stop this for a while, because when they're doing the other exit, they might mess this street up.
Amanda, if I might ask the
Let me
clarification.
real quickly, Steve, let me go to
Yep.
Jerry, and then I'm gonna come to Steve.
Okay, okay.
Jerry?
They are gonna be another exit at Stony Creek, okay? It's in the works. I mean, it's going out, like you say, and it will be there. I mean, there will be another exit. The exit out there, you could put 4 fire trucks in it and get out there. It's so big now, the one that's at the road down there. And they'll be, like, I'm agreeing with Steve here. The people need their snow pushed and that's so we can take care of the people that's bought there. You know, they ain't gonna like it if the snow ain't gonna be pushed now, so that's just my opinion. There will be another exit.
Let me come to Steve Davis, and then I'll be back to Steve Cottle, who has his.
Amanda, let me clarify tell me if I'm incorrect on this. This construction was already approved construction that you all approved before we kind of put that moratorium on new construction out there because of the entrance. Is that correct? Because at sometime last year, did we not in P and Z say we weren't going to allow much more construction out there unless we had a
We
second
had
exit?
several things to figure out, utilities, exits.
Right.
So, you know, we look at development.
So was this one already approved
Yes, sir, to answer.
prior to
It was.
that, thus saying, look, we've got a problem out here with
This is the
potentially
last-
utilities and an exit, right?
The
Right.
last phase.
This is the actual last phase that was already pre-approved. I mean, P and Z approved it, the city. The only thing we're doing now is accepting the street that's already there, which was obviously pre-approved before some of those issues needed to be taken care of on what's going to happen next.
Correct.
I'm assuming P and Z will pick that up, and hopefully we won't allow more build out there until we rectify the outlet problem and the utility problems.
So I anticipate what's coming is, we really have had, you know, development takes a lot of different, consideration of
Takes
lots of
time.
different aspects, lots of time. So again, I think over the next, month, 6 weeks, 2 months maybe, I think we will really try to, I think a lot will come together on how, Stony Creek will be developed
Thank
in
you.
the future.
Thank you.
Let me
Thank you,
come
Amanda.
back to Steve Cottle. Steve, I had saw you had your light on.
I'm just ready to vote, Mayor.
Okay. Any further discussion? We do have a motion on the floor. Ron?
Well, I want to say that what would it hurt to table this until we get a third exit?
So what it hurts
Or say-
is that when,
It don't hurt
just to
nothing.
answer the question, is what happens when we accept the streets for maintenance, is that we release the bond, the construction bond that this developer put up because he put up the money for any infrastructure that he did not install before the preliminary plat. So what this does is this releases that money to be able to be used toward future projects.
Is he the developer on the other part?
He is.
So why don't we
So
table
basically,
this
we'll call.
and make
so-
him get it done quick?
Because this one's finished.
Well, it won't hurt anything to sit there.
Okay. Further discussion on the motion. Teresa?
Amanda, you said that the exit is there for emergency use, so if something horrible happened, we could get people in and out of there now.
No.
Not now.
The physical road is not connected.
Okay,
The plans have been approved. They are awaiting some state and federal permitting that that they have to develop that road.
okay, I misunderstood. So
Yep, so it's not physically out there, it's just approved.
for emergency access? Okay, thank you.
For future emergency access.
thank you.
Yes, a future connection point.
Further discussion on the motion? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to accept 860 feet,
Linear feet.
of right-of-way into city maintenance valued at $344,000 with the exception of the detention pond. Please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no.
No.
I'll record the vote as 6 in favor, 1 opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
All right. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 01-2026, 151 and 170, 76 Boulevard zone change. And this is the first reading. Mr. Gilbert.
City Council of the City of Berea, Kentucky does hereby ordain as follows. Pursuant to the authority granted by Kentucky law and Berea ordinances and the Land Management Development Ordinance, and further pursuant to a hearing held on December the 9th, 2025, by the Berea Planning Commission, wherein the Planning Commission found that the proposal for zoning map amendment from I-2 Industrial Park District to B4 Interchange Business District was appropriate based upon specific factual findings, and said Planning Commission having recommended to the City Council that the requested map amendment be granted. Therefore, the City Council adopts the findings of fact and recommendations of the Planning Commission, and further pursuant to Kentucky law, the area as hereinafter described on Exhibit A hereto, 18 acres more or less, located at 151 and 170 76 Boulevard, B and the same, is reclassified to B4 Interchange Business District from I-2 Industrial Park District.
And that is the first reading with the second reading scheduled for January 20th, 2026. Per past practice, I will open the floor up for any discussion on the first reading of ordinance number 01-2026. Discussion. John?
Just for clarification, can you give us background on its location and the new intended use?
I don't know about the intended use. It would just be B4. I do know that this property is at the end of 76 Boulevard. 76 Boulevard dead ends, and it's owned by Todd and Aaron Holbrook. I will acknowledge that counsel for the property owners, Mr. Corey Isaacs, is here. Corey, would you want to elaborate on anything you can share with us about use or location to John's question?
Thank you. And absolutely, Mr. Mayor and council persons, thank you all for the opportunity to be here. So the most important thing that I can elaborate on is that the comprehensive plan does dictate that this area shall be commercial. That's the most important part. This is an area that things are happening, and my client in particular wishes to take that 18 acres, and it's going to be an RV park with the idea that within the RV park there'll be a pool. They've got plans for a lazy river to entertain those folks that come there, along with a splash pad. It's going to be a destination, which I think is lovely for the city of Berea. I can't really provide too awful much more until we get into the planning part, which will be after the adoption of the zone change. However, I'm certainly willing to address any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Isaacs. Steve?
I just had one. I think that's great. We're expanding things. The RV park, would that be considered, you said destination, which is what I wanted to hear. There wouldn't be any full-time 12-month year rentals that we anticipate? No. I know that's a separate issue. I'm glad it's part of the comprehensive plan. I was just trying to think ahead if those would be another short-term rentals.
Short-term, yes. Okay. The idea, my client's idea is to bring people here.
Sure.
Take their money and send them away, right? Which is the best.
Excellent idea. Right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I just wanted that clarified because I wasn't sure everybody knew that. Yeah.
And that's as blatant as I can put it.
Yep.
However, I don't want that to be put on a billboard anywhere. However, we do wish to bring people in. It's not a long-term stay. The scenario here is that we're going to bring folks who enjoy that type of entertainment on their weekends. I want to bring them here, right? And then to entice them, they're going to build. I mean, the plan is to build the pool with a lazy river, a splash pad for the kids. This isn't a small undertaking by any means, but it's certainly not a pull-up and stay.
If anybody's got anything, you can look at the farms in London. It'll be sort of similar to that. It's really nice. It's
London is the best scenario that we can equate to.
It's-
However, I never want to equate anything until it's here, right? Then we're just talking about expectations. However, that is the goal. A goal is the best way I can explain it. Expectations are typically based on historical events, and we don't have one of those here. That is the goal. However, to bring folks here, allow them to enjoy the stay, and then it is stay and leave.
And again, there is the finding of fact in your packet, so be sure and read that over between now and the next meeting.
And
Ronnie?
I will stress upon anything that your comprehensive plan, which is my rules that I get to play by, that's what it's supposed to be. We just hope to meet the need that you, along with the comprehensive plan, has desired and have put in writing.
Ronnie, go right ahead.
Let me ask you something. These houses on the side,
Correct.
are they approving what you're all gonna do, or are you gonna put up blockage from the houses where they won't have to sit there and look at the trash that the people are?
Well, I will say, I will take offense to the word trash. I anticipate that my client's going to
I
present
understand
a
that.
very clean and very profitable experience.
That's true, but I'm concerned about the houses.
The housing, as you look at the map, I'm somewhat enjoying. So as you look at the map, as you come in off the main road, housing is only on this side.
Right.
To the back side as I go, and to the back side as I go here, there's nothing.
Well, but Steve, will it come up behind your house?
No, it currently extends to essentially, there's a tree break, there is the best way to think about it is there's an apartment complex at the end of Nandito Boulevard, and it will not go past that point.
Good.
I would concur with that as I kind of draw it with my hands.
Yeah.
We're not going to reach that.
Yeah, right, okay.
One more thing.
Okay, Jerry?
Please.
The zoning is just the first part of the issue. The development plan determines about these, but the everything else. The zoning just gets it to where you could do it, but the development plan takes care of all the screening and all that. Just because you change the zone on it don't mean that it's ready to go. It just means you can put it there.
I would agree with your statements in absolute. My client is very excited about this opportunity. However, I've had to kind of tap him on the head and say, wait, we do have a plan that's ready to present. However, we can't do that yet.
Oh, that's right. It's got to on this first month.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we are on comments related to the first reading of ordinance number 01-2026. Or any further comments or discussion?
I have a comment.
Teresa?
I'm excited to see new development come in like that. I'm looking forward and hope it goes well for them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Isaacs, thank you for fielding the questions. Appreciate you being here on behalf of your clients.
If I may be excused as well.
You may.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or comments on the first reading of the ordinance? Seeing none, good discussion. We'll move forward. And the next item on the agenda is department head reports. And for this month, our featured department head is Berea Police Chief Jason Hayes. Chief, you have the floor, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, City Administrator. Hope everyone had a good holiday and time with their family, and they enjoyed Christmas as much as my children did. They were spoiled. So I want to update you first on the current events for our department. I'd like to recognize some of our officers that got promoted since the last time I presented to you guys. Eric Davidson was promoted to captain this year. Lynn Goforth was promoted to lieutenant, and Barry Manley was promoted to sergeant. All of those gentlemen are doing very well in their new positions. As an agency over the last year, I feel like we've strengthened our community partnerships, and that's with groups such as the Food Bank, the Chamber of Commerce, Berea College, just to name a few. But we want to continue to strengthen those relationships, and we're working hard to do that. For right now, we're in the planning phase of getting ready for the new year. That's getting in-house training planned, special events planned for 2026, and in-service training for all of our officers. It's a lot to get planned for the year. When looking at our statistics for 2025, we responded to 17,538 calls for service. That's 48 calls per service per day for our officers. That's down a little bit from last year. We responded over 19,000 last year. Our crime statistics, so if you guys remember the last time I reported, we had a downward trend of crimes reported and had seen that for a few years. And I'm happy to report that continued in 2025. In 2024, we had 402 crimes reported. In 2025, that number dropped to 352. Since 2021, we've seen a 43% decrease in the number of crimes reported in Berea. I think that's a significant number. We hope to continue this trend again in 2026 through proactive policing, directed patrol, and using crime statistics to locate the areas we need to patrol the most. So that's how we've been able to accomplish that. When looking at activity for the year, in 2025, we issued 233 speeding citations. We responded to 546 collisions, 1 fatality on the bypass, and we made 742 arrests. The last time I presented, Jerry Little asked about drug statistics, and I realized that I have never reported that to you guys, so I want to give you an update on 2025 and how that went. So these are the stats for our narcotics team only. So this is a two-man team, and they work on, have a focus on drug trafficking. So this doesn't include any drugs or anything that were seized by any patrol officers, and we have 24 of those. This is just our two-man team. So when looking at marijuana, we seized over 144 grams this year. Numerous different kinds of pills, including hydrocodone, Oxycontin, Suboxone, numerous others, but 229 pills total. In synthetic marijuana, we seized 267 grams. Heroin and fentanyl, we seized 51 grams this year. In meth, we seized over 2,033 grams, and we seized 324 grams of cocaine. In 2025, the narcotics team seized more than $63,000 in cash connected to drug-related arrests. I think it's a pretty impressive number for a two-man team. They work really hard. This next stat, I think, has a direct correlation with their hard work and also patrol's work on drug enforcement. That means arrests outside of trafficking, and that's our overdose statistics. In 2023, Berea had 86 overdoses. In 2024, we had 53, and in 2025, we had 48. That's a decrease of 44% over the last 3 years. That number is still too high. We want to see that to continue to drop, but I think that shows the hard work that our narcotics team and our officers are doing to fight the drug epidemic in Berea. Very proud of our efforts of all of our officers in that regard. When I think about the current state of our department, we're blessed at this time to be fully staffed. Most of our departures lately have been retirements, and there's not many agencies that can say that. So we're very blessed in that regard. I think we can attest some of that success to the support that we receive from the council, our mayor, and the city administrator, and we appreciate that support. We are ready for 2026 to get started, and I appreciate your time. That's all I have for today, but I will take some questions.
Okay.
I got a question.
Questions, Jerry?
Jason, on this drug situation, do you feel that your two-man team, have we got enough personnel working on that? What's your opinion?
I do. If we take any more from patrol, it's going to take away a little bit from our patrol capabilities. The two-man team works well together, and we work with HIDA as well. A lot of times they'll reach out to HIDA, or HIDA will reach out to them, KSP, other agencies. We work well with other surrounding agencies to work on the drug problem, and so I think at this time we don't need to add to that team.
Of course, you know, the drug problem ruins everybody's families. Like, you know, it's these young children gets on it. It's just devastating.
It is a one of the largest focuses for our department, Jerry.
All right, thank you.
Ronnie?
Chief, how many Markhams did you have to use this year on
How many what?
Markham?
Okay, so
Bring them back, or they,
I don't have those numbers, Ronnie, but
look them up. I'd like to know. I mean, because I really think we can watch that number to see how bad it is. I mean, I hope it's not too high, but
well, I think you've hit on something. With overdoses coming down a little bit, I believe that the availability of Narcan is probably one of the reasons why that's coming down as well.
that,
I hope so, because it's well more available than it was a few years ago. So,
Other questions or comments, John? And then we'll come to Steve.
With the room at the inn opening up, is our social services coordinator working closely with them to, hopefully provide, connect those individuals with services and hopefully get ahead of some of the issues that they may have as a result of an absence of access to service?
yes, Ms. Hensley works closely with Room in the Inn and numerous other resources that Maria offers and Madison County offers, and even up toward Richmond and Lexington. So, yes, she works closely with them, and she refers many to them probably daily. So,
Steve?
Ronnie asked the biggest question I had, which was, why do you think the statistics have brought us down? I don't know how we compare nationally. Do you, Jason?
I don't either.
Yeah, I appreciate that they're down. Of course, 0 would be ideal, and,
I agree.
and we all want to work towards that. But Ronnie asked a good question about, and you said that might have been what brought it down some.
Yes.
So we appreciate that. Appreciate you working with the nonprofits too. Appreciate all the work you all do.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.
One more thing, Jason, I want to thank you for bringing that drug report up. I forgot to thank you there. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Other comments or questions for the chief?
I'll make a comment. I really would say that over the last, the 10 or 12 years I've been doing this, I feel like our police department is in the best position that it has been in the entire time that I've been here. And that, a lot of that work is over the full term of that time. There's a lot of different things that we've done. And I really think that it's a testament to the hard work that we all put in as a city to get to hazard duty. And you're right, there's not many police departments that can say most of our departures are retirements. But that's not just because of hazard duty. And I think that the biggest reason is because of the culture that you and your staff have created. And I really am very, very proud of the work that you all do as a police department. And I'm very proud of the work that you do as a chief. I feel safe in our city every day, and you can't say that about a lot of places either. And so thank you to you and all of your officers, because if you don't feel safe in a place, there's not much else that you can do. So really appreciate everything that you all do.
I appreciate that, Steve. I would say that I'm blessed with a really, really good team. I can't take all that credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, number one, my command staff is amazing, and it's good to have people around you that think differently than you, and they all do. They all tell me, "Hey, you're messing up. Don't do that." So I think I'm blessed maybe to listen to them. So
You do have an incredible command staff, and I know you're humble, but I've been here for several chiefs, and we've had some really good times with different challenges with our police department. But I feel like your command staff is a reflection of your leadership, and your officers are a reflection of your command staff's leadership, and you all are doing a fantastic job.
thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Chief, thank you for your leadership, and please pass along our thanks to the entire department for the good work that they do every single day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, would any other department heads like to address the council? All right, seeing none, we'll move forward to the city administrator's report, and I'll recognize City Administrator Sean Samlin. Sean, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Just want to bring you up to date on some projects that we have going on right now. The Trailhead restrooms, we have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow, and the contractor will start mobilizing on Thursday for that. So you'll see some construction fences going up and demolition starting probably within the next week or so. We do have the banner in the process of being made, so go ahead and let you know that. And it does show the Trailhead restroom and what it looks like, and then along with how it's paid for. So we'll get that put up as soon as the construction fence gets in place. The pickleball signs has been installed at the pickleball courts. Really nice looking sign, I thought. The reason I bring that up is because that will allow us to connect our electrical panel to the back of those signs, and we can get the electric turned on to the pickleball courts. So and then that will be done in the next 2 weeks as well. The Memorial Park restrooms, we're finalizing plans to remodel those. It is in the budget this year, so we'll hopefully get that bid out February and maybe get started on those prior to the summer, and completed prior to the summer. We continue to work with our engineers on the park improvement plan. We kind of had a work session on there about a month ago or so. We'll have some renderings available within the end of this month, and I can bring that to you guys and let you see what we think that it's going to look like. Also, the Fairstown Community Center, we have site plans approved at this point, and now we're waiting for the Mady Road Extension project to be let by the KYTC, and we're hopefully that we can bring those two projects together at the same time. That's kind of our goal. And that's about all the projects that we have going on at this moment. So, I'll
Questions
take
for
any
Sean?
questions.
Ronnie?
Sean, let me ask you, on the Trailhead concession stand, will it be done before Little League starts?
We're hopeful for April. We'll see how it goes.
And the renovation of the restrooms at the other
Same,
concession
should be done.
should be done too.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Memorial Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be done.
Other questions or comments for Sean?
One more.
Jerry?
On their scaffold cane, is it going to be started at a later part of this year, or do you know?
We're very hopeful. Now that the Lip Street's done, that was part of the holdup is we couldn't do two projects at the same time. So we're hopeful that now that the Lip Street is nearing completion on that, we can move into the paperwork for the other.
I want to thank you for getting those bathrooms straightened up down there at the park, okay? That's going to be the biggest help we've had.
Yeah, it's been needed for a while.
Steve?
Can you update us, and you may need Mayor on that, for Kenway? Anything about Kenway?
Yeah, I would defer to Mayor Fraley on that.
You can do that in Mayor comments. Appreciate all the stuff you're working on. See, I had one more thing in my brain that slipped, but if I think of it, I'll buzz you.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Sean? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the mayor's comments, and I'll begin with the one that on Kenway. It's funny that you asked that question, because today Susan notified me that we received the funds for the state where we can start spending money as we need to. And we keep in mind that was not a reimbursable grant, so it's only money that you spend going forward. Still in the acquisition of right-of-way negotiations at this time, but all plans are in place. The design's pretty well done, just needs some final details on it. And we'll just keep moving that process forward with our city engineer. So that's the update on Kenway. One other transportation project to bring to your attention, Sean, in his discussion on the Fairstown Community Center and some of the projects reminded me of a state project, which is replacement of the Fairstown Bridge, the single-lane wooden bridge. That contract was awarded. They had their pre-construction meeting in right before Christmas, and today I actually talked to someone from the construction company that got the bid, and they're getting ready to get started on it. So we're really excited to see that finally coming around, and I know that doesn't just affect the folks that are in Ferristown, but the Ferristown School, the industrial park, and people that come through from the east side of Richmond have had to take a detour on that for a couple of years now. So it'll be nice to get that done, and he was optimistic that they would be getting started on that real soon. My final comment is about our audit, and I just want to acknowledge, I know it's been done several times, acknowledge the professionalism and the level of detail and effort that goes in by everybody, especially our finance director. So my highest compliments to Susan. We're blessed to have someone of her caliber as our finance director, but Susan will be the first person to also let you know that this is a total team effort with our budgeting to make sure that the public funds are used in the right way and that we're good stewards of the public trust. And that credit would go to the city administrator, the department heads, and the city council, because everybody plays a critical role in making sure that public funds are used the right way and that are properly accounted for. So Susan, again, thank you, but thanks to the broader group that works together to make sure that we do have these type of clean audits and good reports by our auditors. So thank you on that. And that concludes my comments. We'll next move to council comments, and I'll begin with Mr. Little. No comment. Mr. Cottle? Ms. Wilson? Mr. Terrell?
I want to say thanks to tourism for the Christmas lights that they had up this year. I mean, because I just want them to do more next year, because I've had more good comments about the lights this past year. So kudos for them and pass the word on.
Agreed. Thank you, Ronnie. Next, we'll move to Mr. Davis.
I want to thank Ms. Baugh for coming in and keeping that on our notice that we need to do something out there. And I know Amanda's working hard on that. But I appreciate you just staying in touch. We appreciate the public doing that. Also, on the audit, it shows the city in a very good financial position, which is great. And I just hope that we continue to move funds forward as we can with our plans and our projects, and come up with some new ones so we can utilize that money most effectively for our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we'll move to Mr. Payne.
I just wanted to say I think this has been a good meeting, and I think we're setting the right tone for 2026 in that Berea is headed for, progress, momentum, and responsible growth. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And for the last word, Teresa Centers. Teresa, you have the floor.
Well, as we start the new year, I want to say how grateful I am for all the city's employees and department heads and all that you do, that we see every day how well the city's running, and this audit is proof of that. And I also like to say that I'm excited about community investment, like, where we have this stuff brought before us, where we get to approve these things that citizens are willing to invest their hard-earned money in. And thank you, Judy, for bringing that to our attention. Everybody have a good week.
Thank you, Teresa. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn by Steve Davis with a second by John Payne? All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The meeting is adjourned.